What if I told you, there are words that don't just change your mood, they change your entire vibration and your life? Thoth didn't write for you to read him. He wrote so you'd remember. He didn't leave ink on paper. He carved vibration into stone. A message not meant to be heard with ears, but to be felt with the soul. Because those who understand these 13 lessons don't just think differently, they vibrate differently. And when your vibration shifts, the universe responds. What if everything you've called a weakness was really the threshold of a power you haven't met yet? Stay with me until the end of this video, and give yourself permission to look within, into that space where your true strength has always lived. And if something stirs inside you as you hear these words, subscribe and turn on the bell. Because this channel isn't just content. It's a bridge to heal, to remember, to come back to yourself. Everything around you vibrates. Your body, your thoughts, your emotions, the chair you're sitting on, even time, even what you thought was solid and unshakable, is just frequency. And the moment your frequency slipped out of tune, nothing flowed. The mind spun, the body ached, dreams paused, and you blamed the outside world, not knowing the key had always been inside. Thoth called it the invisible prison, an energetic trap, a vibrational cage. But he didn't just warn us. He left the keys, encoded in the emerald tablets. Because vibration doesn't just shape reality. It directs it. It chooses it. And those who don't master their frequency will be ruled by the frequencies of others. This video is not for entertainment. It's alignment. It's a map to remember what your soul once knew. These 13 lessons, they're not just ideas. They are codes, fragments of energetic engineering, passed down silently, from one civilization to the next. And if you're here, you weren't brought by accident. Your vibration led you. So don't listen with your mind. Listen with your heart. Because your frequency is about to rise. Lesson 1. Everything is vibration. Matter is just energy slowed down. What you see as solid is simply low-frequency vibration. Thoth gave this master key so you'd understand. Changing your reality isn't about controlling what you see. It's about transforming what you emit. Shift your frequency, and everything shifts. Lesson 2. Consciousness tunes reality. Your energy field sends out a constant signal. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And what you are is what you vibrate. Raising your consciousness isn't some spiritual act. It's changing the station. Change the frequency, and the universe has no choice but to follow. Lesson 3. Emotion shapes matter. Emotion is vibration, amplified. Fear, guilt, anger, they drop your field. Love and gratitude, they lift it. The mind thinks, but the heart knows. That's why feeling with coherence is way more powerful than just thinking positive. Lesson 4. Inner balance creates outer harmony. When the world outside feels like chaos, it's because you lost your center within. Emotional imbalance blocks you, drains you, breaks you. But balance isn't something you force. It happens when excess falls away. Return to center, and watch how everything else falls into place. Lesson 5. The channels of life force. Your vibration flows through subtle channels. Ida, Pingala, Sushumna. When they're blocked, your energy gets stuck. Even if you're thinking positive, you're vibrating scarcity. Breathe. Move. Go silent. Unblock. Because when energy flows, life answers. Lesson 6. Sound is the architecture of creation. Your words, your voice, even your silence, they all shape reality. They're vibration in motion. Science confirms it. Sound creates geometry. It structures matter. That's why Thoth said, sing, even in silence. Because the universe is always listening. Lesson 7. The flower of life. This isn't just a spiritual symbol. It's the blueprint of all existence. Every line, every curve, vibrates like creation itself. To meditate with it is to sync your vibration with the original pattern of the cosmos, to align with Source. Lesson 8. The inner fire that transmute. Not everything that vibrates is light. Inside you, there's fire. Not rage. Transmutation. Ignore it, and it'll burn you. Use it, and it'll raise you. Burn away what no longer serves. Let yourself be purified. That's exactly what the fire came for. Lesson 9. Polarity as a path. Light and shadow. Masculine and feminine. They're not enemies. They're the same energy, just different ends of the spectrum. You didn't come here to destroy your darkness. You came to integrate it. To vibrate in wholeness is to turn contrast into consciousness. The past doesn't hold you. You keep vibrating it. Time doesn't move. What shifts is your consciousness. Change your frequency, and you'll access new timelines, new versions of yourself. Time bends toward frequency. Lesson 11. Earth is a vibrational being. You don't walk on her. She walks with you. She vibrates. She's aware. And every time you disconnect from her, you lose the rhythm. Return to nature. Breathe with the forest. Feel the ground. Elevation doesn't come from escaping the world, but from vibrating with it. Lesson 12. Pure intention as frequency. Not every thought manifests. Only the ones born from coherence. Between what you think, what you feel, and what you vibrate. It's not about wishing hard. It's about vibrating clean. The universe doesn't hear what you say. It feels what you emit. Lesson 13. Silence as the supreme channel. All vibration is born in silence. All creation begins in the void. There, where there is no sound, no mind, reality arranges itself. Silence is not absence. It is origin. Meditate. Breathe. Listen. The field doesn't respond to what you touch, but to what you hold, with coherence. Now you know. It's not magic. It's vibration. And when your frequency shifts, your world doesn't just change. Everything does. People walk away without conflict. Doors open where there were once walls. Ideas flow. Time slows down. And you remember. You remember you were never just a body, or a name, or a story. You were, you are, and you have always been the field, the frequency behind the form, the vibration that organizes reality. Because you're not here to survive. You're here to vibrate. So high, so true, so pure, that the entire universe reshapes itself around you. Now that you know, now that you feel it, there's no going back. The veil has dropped. And even if the world keeps spinning like always, something inside you has shifted. You can't ignore it anymore. Because it's no longer just a thought. It's a knowing, a certainty, a frequency rising from your deepest core. A vibration that asks for nothing, doesn't apologize, doesn't seek approval. It simply manifests. And this is where the real journey begins. The first step isn't outward. It's inward, to that sacred place where your memories converge, where your fears live, your unhealed wounds, your delayed truths, your forgotten dreams, that hidden corner you've avoided for so long, because it hurt, because you didn't know what to do with what you might find there. But now you see, none of it was a burden. It was material, raw vibrational matter, ready to become power. Because nothing is lost when you choose to remember. Everything transforms. And the first thing to transform is you. Your way of seeing changes. Your reactions begin to slow down. You catch yourself listening before speaking, breathing before acting. You feel the thought before believing it. And you realize you are not the thought. You realize you can observe without judgment. You can feel without clinging. You discover that silence, the one you used to avoid, starts to feel like home, and you no longer need so many words. When your presence emits what you used to explain with arguments. Now, you become living frequency, a conscious channel, a bridge between the visible and the invisible. Because frequency doesn't need to defend itself. It simply recognizes itself. And by recognizing yourself, others will begin to remember too. Not because you convince them, but because your vibration activates theirs. That's what the awakened do. They activate. They don't preach. They radiate. And suddenly, everything external begins to respond differently. The places that once felt heavy now make you uncomfortable. The people who lived in fear no longer resonate with you. The routines you followed on autopilot start to dissolve. And you begin to question everything. Why am I doing this? Who was I when I chose this? What frequency does this decision reflect? The answers aren't always comfortable, but they're liberating, because they bring you back to your center. That still point where you can finally see clearly. And when clarity arrives, energy realigns. And when energy realigns, life flows. But don't get confused. Flowing doesn't mean everything becomes easy. It means you no longer resist what is. You stop fighting the current, not because you gave up, but because you understood the real power lies in navigating with awareness. And that awareness is sustained frequency. It's knowing that even when it seems like nothing's happening, everything is moving. Inside you, in the subtle, in the invisible. And it's in the invisible where everything begins. That's why every morning becomes a ritual. Every breath, an anchor. Every gesture, a signal to the field. Every thought, an emission. And every word, a seed. So you start choosing more carefully. Not out of fear, but out of vibrational responsibility. Because you can't live like before. Because you're not who you used to be. And not because you changed, but because you remembered. You remembered that everything you were looking for outside was already within you. That love isn't something you find, it's something you emit. That abundance isn't chased, it's sustained. That peace isn't waited for, it's vibrated. And when you vibrate it, the universe listens. Not because it rewards you, but because it reflects you. Everything is a mirror. And you are the center. Not as an egoic center, but as an energetic axis. As a point of emission. And this is where the real magic appears. Not the kind that entertains, but the kind that transforms. The magic of the present moment. The alchemy of now. Where your body, mind, and soul are in the same place, and finally recognize each other. You no longer live fragmented, no longer split between what you feel, what you think, and what you do. Now there is coherence, and that coherence is pure magnetism. And you feel it, because strange things start to happen. Coincidences, synchronicities, people appearing just when you need them. Words arriving like they were written for you. Ideas emerging from silence. Solutions you didn't expect, but they fit perfectly. And you realize, it's not luck. It's alignment. You are in tune. And what is aligned, flows. Not by fate's whim, but because vibration is the original language of the universe. And now, you speak it. You recognize it. You live it. But this new language requires constancy. To hold it, when the world is shouting otherwise. To hold it, when everything around you is shaking. To hold it, when the old patterns call you back. Because the ego will try to bring you back. Back to what feels safe. Back to the known. Back to the old frequency. But now you know, there's no greater safety than being in alignment with yourself. Because when you are in your own frequency, there is nothing to fear, only presence. And from that presence, you rise as who you truly are, a vibrational being, experiencing a reality, designed to respond to you. So if everything is responding to you, what are you emitting? That's the question that returns again and again. Not to punish you, but to give your power back. Because what you hold manifests. And what you hold isn't measured in words. It's measured in coherence, in energy, in vibration. And when you hold that vibration day after day, you become a channel, a guide, a beacon for others. Not to save them, but to remind them they can too. Because this path isn't exclusive. It's inclusive. It's open to everyone. But not everyone is ready to hold it. That's why your job is not to convince. Your job is to vibrate. Because when you vibrate high, others feel it. And when they feel it, something inside them awakens. And when it awakens, the change begins. One by one. From the inside out. From silence to expansion. From the invisible to the inevitable. That's how the world transforms. Not through shouting. Not through struggle. But through frequencies held in truth. Because truth isn't imposed. It's emitted. And what is true resonates. And you are here to resonate. Not to fit in. Not to please. Not to survive. You are here to remember. To emit. To transform. And that begins with you.